shocked there, Dom.
I'm just amazed that we're still alive and it's 2025, mate.
Hello, everybody. It's Monday night. It's 2025, and it's the first episode of season 6 of the Plastic Crack
Bloody
Podcast.
hell.
No.
Season 6. I hope everybody has had a fantastic new year and aren't too cold at the moment, because it's a bit
Brisk.
It's a bit brisk. It's a bit interesting in the UK at the moment.
Apart from for Warren, he's lovely and hot.
Yeah, as you'll see, we've got two guests on. We've got Paul and Warren of should we say infamy or just for me of OPC infamy. So Paul and Warren are part of the team that run the PCP Online Painting Challenge, and as last year was a pretty stonking one. For everyone concerned, stonking.
That's such a great word.
It is.
It's not used enough. I need to use it more.
Yeah,
could I use it? Either stonking or corking. I think corking is.
Oh no, stonking's better.
Stonking.
Stonking.
So we thought we'd get Paul and Warren on to have a bit of a chat about their backgrounds in the hobby, and also the OPC, because it's over the years it's definitely grown. I know people look forward to participating in it. So we're going to have a look back on the awesomeness that was the OPC 24 and get some information on OPC 25, which is going to be good. Big special thank you to Warren, because Warren is in a very different time zone, and it's an ungodly 7 o'clock where Warren is. So big thank you for joining us at such a mad hour. I hope you've got lots of coffee prepared for the next
Second big cup.
Good stuff. And again, we've got Paul, who many of you know from the community, and his articles in various wargaming magazines, and his awesomely painted miniatures.
The madman that puts blooming eyeballs on epic figures.
The insane level of detail this man goes to with the epic
eyeballs on his heraldry. That's what you see. It's not just eyeballs; it's eyeballs on the things on the heraldry. That's the madness.
Yeah, I always thought I was getting better at painting, and I saw that, and I just thought, screw it, never gonna. That's it, done.
So chaps, first of all, happy New Year. How is everybody?
All right. All good. Raring to go for another year, mate.
Yes. How many armies you painted yet, Dom?
Only the 2 this year so far, but you know it's early. What is it, 6th? Yeah, you know, I'm trying to pace myself this year. With the new challenge, I kind of set a quite high bar. I thought 5 million was about right, wasn't it? Something like that.
I've been seeing loads of videos of people who've painted, you know, what they've painted during 2024. Some people, they're like machines. They're just thousands and thousands of miniatures. I can but dream of even achieving these mad fool crazy figures. But yes, Warren, Paul, do you have a good New Year?
Very good.
Good stuff.
It feels like a distant memory already, and I'm still on holidays, so holiday brain as well as 7 a.m. in the morning. So
that's dedication on holiday and getting up at that time to hang out with us.
Yeah,
dedication all over the place.
Yeah.
Right, let's see who we've got in chat at the moment. So we've got Don from Ohio. Evening all, more Flames of War Soviets tonight. Cold as a well digger's backside in Ohio. 10 days so far. 10 not getting up to 0. Ouch. That sounds horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty cold over there at the moment, isn't it?
God, yeah. Alan's here. He's working on Flames of War Germans. Happy birthday, Alan, by the way, for your recent.
Yes, happy birthday.
Birthday, mate.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Trevor is here. He's having a break from painting naps. He's painted some Skaven. The first update from Mercia. It's a dark, dank, and waterlogged Mercia.
Is that Paul? Is that Paul?
Sounds distinctly medieval, doesn't it? Dark, dank, and waterlogged Mercia.
It sounds like one of your projects, mate, or something you drink. One or the other. I'm not quite sure which.
I like that.
Rich M from a rather flooded Stratford Avon. Sam Rushmer's here. It's a windy and moist in Norfolk. Neil Oldham.
It is.
Mortzerk. I think Jonas wins, -22. Good stuff.
Blimey.
I can't. My brain can't even compute -20. When we had -9 a couple of years back, I thought that was my limit. I can't go any more than -9. I didn't think I'd ever see -9 in my lifetime.
When I went to Sweden last year, which obviously is where Jonas is, isn't it? I went there and it was -20. We went outside. It was the most bizarre thing, and also I lost my phone in the snow, so I was scrabbling around in the snow trying to find my phone.
I thought you didn't leave a bar for the entire weekend. You were there.
No, we had to go from the ship because we stayed on a ship. On a boat in the harbour, and then we had to get to the bar. So in between the bar and the ship, I lost my phone.
That sounds like a recipe for frostbite if you've dropped your phone.
Yes, it was a bit nippy.
Glenn Paints from a dry but nippy Perthshire. Red Steph, hello Steph, how you doing? Carl Burks, Mobile and Hostile, East Norfolks. Trash Anyich, yeah, he's giving it as it is. From a bloody freezing Cumbria, I can well imagine. Crossing Opticals Gaming here, Martin Hoey, Grana Priego, Carazette, Andrew JF, Andrew King, Walkabout Games, John, a warm and sunny South Florida. Yeah, behave, mate. Come on, show some solidarity. Pat Neal, Dermot Connolly from a snowy Derry. Steve, it's too cold in the hobby room, so he's downstairs looking at all the loveliness. Completely changed his mind over the projects he's got planned for this year. Welcome to everyone else's world. Shell Shock Scenics, Robin, hope you go well, mate. Nathan McGowan, David Dew, Philip Redman. Bar is from balmy North Dakota, above zero for the first time in a week. It's just not just us suffering then. Lionheart, Cardboard Fortress, Osmozy, 25 degrees. Lovely. Cheers, Craig. That's awesome. There's
always one, isn't there?
There's always one. David Benton, Andy Stocker, Dutch Army Painter, Old School FRP, David Kerr, Double Dip, Nick Games, French Miniatures, John Christie, Martin needs to fit stonking into a dig report. There you go.
I use it when describing things. Like, this is a stonking great pit. I like doing that one. This is a stonking great well. Stonking great midden. That's a good one.
Stonking great midden.
Yeah.
That sounds like Paul's dark and dank Mercia. I can almost smell that. Mike Schubert, Robin Rose Hobden, Sickles and Spurs, that James. Hope you're well, mate. Shrink 7. Joseph Hudacek, Bad Beagle Gaming, Snow-laden Washington DC, and then even in Mississippi it's 3 degrees. Definitely getting a world weather update tonight, you lucky people. Nick Sinclair, and we're at the bottom, and it's not fallen over. Great stuff. That's awesome. So yeah, big thank you to everyone joining us for episode 1, season 6, on this rather inclement night. Normally we'd be catching up on what my co-hosts and myself have been up to. Unfortunately, Dom has painted 4 million figures in the past 6 days.
5
million. Well, 5 days or 5 million.
Yeah. 5 million.
So we're going to be catching up on our projects next week. So we can chat to our guests here. So Paul Warren, again, big thank you for joining us. 37, lovely stuff.
37
minus 37.
Yeah, that's
I thought we were referencing Clerks. Sorry. Keep my mouth shut.
So again, yeah, big thanks Paul and Warren for taking time out to hang out with us while as we complain about the crap weather. So let's dig into you, because it's the first time you guys have been on, and you're well known within the PCP community. So let's dig into your background, shall we? So Paul, let's start with you. How did you get into the hobby? It's a question we ask everybody, but everyone's interested.
For sort of me and my generation, it was because I'm very much sort of the Airfix generation. So it was the normal sort of Airfix 1/72 plastic little figures. Mm-hmm. And I also used to enjoy building the tanks and the planes, and hanging the planes on the ceiling with fishing wire, and then watching them fall on the bed as you're in bed. And then there was one day I popped into the local newsagent around the corner, and they had some very, very old military modellings. And I thought, oh, well, cool, what's that? So I picked up all the ones that are the back copies, took those home, and right in the back of the magazine, they had a couple of pics from Battle for Wargamers, and it had layouts of Peter Gilder's tables. And then I had to find that magazine. So I found that magazine, found out who Peter Gilder was, found out what that used to go for Hinchliffe. Where do I get these models? Because wow, these aren't little plastic ones. These are sort of proper grown-up figures. Where do I have to? And I had to have these. So I sent away, and Dom's often talked about how you used to get miniatures in those days. It wasn't a quick and easy process. It was writing away, and then you sent your little catalogue or a little paper list, and then you waited 3 or 4 weeks, and then the miniatures would arrive. Beautiful little blue boxes, very similar to the Perry ones now that you used to get from Hinchliffe. And then I found out there was a model shop, because I lived in South Shields at the time, and I found out there was a model shop in Newcastle called the Model Shop. And they sold Lambing and Garrison and Hinchliffe. So I would make sort of little, every time it was my birthday or Christmas, I would get on the train. I was only about, I was young, just about into my teens at that time, really. And I would head up there and spend hours poring over. I probably drove the man who ran the place absolutely bonkers, as I sort of said, oh, yeah, one of those, and yeah, can you open that box and I'll take one of those. And that was sort of me until I found it, because it was very much historical. But then I found a copy of White Dwarf, and where do you get those? Because I really like those. So I found where the Warhammer Games Workshop shop was at the time, and I bought one of the first RTB box, the Beaky Marines.
Oh, the Beaky RTB 01. Oh, what a classic!
Yeah. And then I got the follow-up kit, which was the Orc one and the Orc Battle Wagon. But I took the RTB one box home, and then I was absolutely gutted because they didn't look like they were in the box. I thought they came ready painted, and that was a bit of a disappointment. So from there, I built quite a few armies. A massive ancient Indian army, that was Hinchliffe and Lambing, and then Essex added to that. I had a huge Macedonian army. An ancient Greek one. Massive big French Napoleonic. That was mainly Hinchliffe and some Garrison. And then sort of like, as I headed sort of late teens, early 20s, I sort of lost interest. Once you start heading to uni and work and the beer, that was that really hit all my painting time, because it was just to the pub every night, really. And then the hobby just sort of, just petered out completely. But the figures I had moved from house to house and stayed in garage and gathered more and more dust. And it was then with COVID, and COVID arrived, that I decided to pop in the garage from where I live now and see what I had there. And I found that a lot of my original paints that I put away about for 30 years ago were still usable. And then I started painting again. Not wargaming, but started getting into painting and really sort of enjoying the painting side of the hobby. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, I can't really remember why, I decided to submit an article to War Games Illustrated. And that kind of led me into that direction as well. I'm also enjoying sort of competitive painting as well, but that's a tricky area to get into. I find the standard is so high now to do really, really well in competitions. It's very, very difficult.
It's not something we talk about particularly. We do touch on obviously tournament gaming quite. We talk about it, but I don't think we've ever really talked about painting competitions and the actual the tournament side of it. Like the really, I don't know how to say it, the really critical painting, techniques and everything like that, where your painting is judged. When you first decided to do that, was that like to actually enter a competition, one of the major ones? Was that how big a thing was that for you to actually enter something in that?
Well, the first one was 2 years ago when I entered Hammerhead, because I'd been writing for War Games Illustrated. So then I found out that they ran the painting competition there. So I was really pleased to take first place in a historical single figure. So I've been going there every year since. And last year I popped out to Salute and had a try there, which is a much bigger sort of event, really. But I was still, over the moon to get second with a historical single figure there. And to get on the same stage for me with Andy Wardle and Darren Latham, who were sort of my sort of heroes, was a massive thing, really.
I don't know. I've seen some videos of people who do competition painting. It's like 100 hours in onto 1 minute. So I'm like, I don't think I've got that. Dom, how many armies could you paint in 100 hours?
I mean, I'm just quivering with the thought of spending 100 hours on a single figure. I mean, just no. I admire anybody who has that patience. I just can't. It just, to me. So you went straight from not having done any painting for a long, long time to suddenly, how quickly did you get up to speed, or were you always that good at painting originally?
It was very difficult, Dom, because I used to think I was quite a good painter, back in the day. But then when I got back into it, things had changed completely. Because like you, I used to paint with enamels, and I only just sort of bought a few acrylics. So then I discovered what's OSL, what's NMM. So I knew nothing about non-metallic metal or object source lighting or painting from the zenithal, and I had to learn what all these terms meant. And the sort of work that you see on Instagram, it's just unbelievable, the standard that's out there now, done by so many people.
Absolutely. I've always said that I love looking at miniatures on Instagram, but sometimes I'm so intimidated by some of the stuff that people produce. You just think, I could paint from now until I'm dead, and I would never get anywhere near that level of painting. But again, it's what people take from the hobby, though, isn't it? I mean, really, if that's your thing. What about gaming? Do you game much these days, or is it just
I used to game with my cousin back in my teens, but we were going back 40 years ago there. And when he lost interest in gaming, he was my sort of gaming partner. And so when he sort of decided he wasn't interested because he discovered beer as well, really, he sort of gave me quite a lot of his figures. So I ended up painting his figures, and he was pleased to get those painted, but then we never sort of gamed with them. And then we both lost interest in the gaming, but I still enjoyed the collecting. I enjoyed looking at the figures. White Dwarf for me was, what's Mike McVeigh going to paint next? And that's why I used to buy the magazine, not because I was interested in the game system, but I wanted to see what, artists of the quality of Mike McVeigh were up to, and what his next diorama was. And I see that Mike's still sort of in the scene now.
Yeah, I know there was an interview with him on, I forget the name of the channel. It's the guys that did the interviews with Rick Priestley and Jervis Johnson. So there is an interview with Mike McVeigh on there. I remember one of my earliest memories of Mike McVeigh was his Horus and the Emperor diorama.
Oh yeah,
he scratch built Horus, and it's just I remember there was another one as well that he made where it was I think it was like an Imperial Guard like Thunderbolt plane and like a hangar. And I remember seeing that in the flesh at Warhammer World, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just so nostalgic seeing things in magazines that I grew up with, and then seeing them actually in front of me. It was just such a great feeling. But it's interesting to see what people take from the hobby. So I can say with White Dwarf, I know a lot of people who bought White Dwarf just for battle reports or tactics or stuff like that, but buying it for the painting and seeing what the painting team been up to. It's good to see that the different things are being taken. Brilliant. Right, we'll give you your voice a rest, Paul. Warren, how did you get into the hobby?
I'm an Airfix generation guy as well.
Hey, us old boys together.
Yeah. My first Airfix figures were those 135th toy soldiers. My brother and I, we had some Aussies and some Japanese, and my first war game was rulers and elastic bands on the floor of the bedroom. And that was the extent of it. Then maybe as I I think it was when I started getting pocket money. We used to clean the local church for 50 cents. You know, we'd sweep out the church, and I remember we'd save up our 50 cents and on the bike and off to the toy shop, and that's where we discovered the boxes of 172 Airfix figures. So that kind of set that off, interested in collecting those figures. And then one day in the city, exploring a technical bookshop, I discovered this. You see that?
World
This is the
War
Bruce
Ah.
Torres.
Right.
That's an old classic, that
drawers.
one. Yeah, I love that.
Look at that. And that just got completely wrecked. You can see how wrecked it is. I just spent hours thumbing through that. You know, just completely taken by the models and the terrain, which was incredibly basic. It's fantastic. So my brother and I used to play that for a while. That was a few years. And then D&D came along. So maybe in my early teens, D&D came along, and that kind of took over for a while. I played D&D right through my uni years. Then after uni, like Paul, the hobby just fell away completely. So there was a couple of aborted efforts, I think, just as my kids were growing up, to try and introduce them to, to painting and modelling, but they never really went anywhere. And then about maybe 6 or so years ago, I started to get back into the hobby in reverse order, introducing my now young adult children into D&D. And then one day, about 5 years ago, I texted my brother and said, "Do you fancy a war game?" And he said yes. So that really started it. So 5 years. I've almost painted every day, I reckon, for 5 years since then. I just got back into it big time, really.
Please tell me that first game was using those rule sets.
Yeah, no. Well, the thing was that it's almost a 40-year gap, right? And so it's like waking up from a cryogenic sleep. I mean, the internet had happened. The internet had happened. So, it was about 5 years ago, discovering all this stuff, including the Lardy games. So we discovered Chain of Command, and that was the game we decided we'd start with, and we've stuck with that over the 5 years. And of course, I discovered you guys. That was very early on. We can
only apologise, Warren.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So this whole aspect of the hobby, which is just was non-existent when I was a kid, this sort of community aspect and the ability to communicate and the ability to buy stuff off the internet. So yeah.
Warren, I know when you played Chain of Command, you played at 20 mil, don't you?
Yeah, 20 mil. See, that's the 172. That's the childhood thing, and I've still got the models from back when I was 12 or 13. They survived is probably a bit of an exaggeration. They're a bit of a mess, but yeah, no, there was a bit of, I guess, a nostalgic draw. Then of course I discovered AB. AB figures are just fantastic. 20 mil's a bit. It's a good scale actually, because it's not too small for the skirmish games. Like, you feel like you've still got, a figure, A, that you can paint, and B, that you can see on the table. But it's also not too big for the bigger games. So, yeah. You can do quite big games.
I've been working on 20 mil on and off since I had my head pecked at CrackCon 3, I believe it was. When everyone was telling me about, you're getting to 20 mil, it's, you'll love it, it's great. And I thought, And when I got back and I was searching online, I was like, there's literally nothing I cannot get at that scale.
Yeah.
If I want the most obscurest vehicle, I can find it. I can find it everywhere. And like you say, painting them, it's a sweet spot. It's not quite 15, but it's not quite 28. It's just a really, really nice scale to paint. Like you say, they work well for sort of big games. I think Chain of Command at 20 mil looks really, really nice. It does look really, really nice. Another interesting point is breaks in the hobby. So you both you guys have experienced, especially, and Warren, yours was quite a prolonged one, as was yours, Paul. What's Dom, Martin? What's the longest you've been sort of out of the hobby for?
4 years, which was the time from the beginning of my gap year to coming back from university.
Hmm.
But I only got back into the hobby because my little cousin had started buying Warhammer, and he came round. He was 11 or 12, and I gave him loads of my old White Dwarfs, and then I was curious, and I went back into Games Workshop, and then it started again. No, I thought I'd pack the whole thing in when I was like 19, because I was going to university and I wasn't going to be doing wargaming. There was going to be other things that were going to keep my attention. But saying that, I did still do RPGs and stuff quite a lot throughout university. It was just easier to do RPGs than it was that. So yeah, 4 years, to be honest. Yeah, I think I've been wargaming more in my life than I haven't. If that makes sense.
Yeah. What about you, Dom?
It was probably about 10 to 15 years, something in that order, because similar sort of story, really. So I did it before I went to university, and I used to muck around, do silly things, toy soldiers and whatnot. But then when I went to uni, as everyone says, beer and trying to get after girls and all the other stuff that goes on with that, you just kind of gaming falls by the wayside. So I think we used to play board games. I used to play a lot of board games and do all that kind of stuff. But I think then when I finished, I started back for a little while. And then when I got married and had kids, kids are the breaker, right? When you first have kids, they're the breaker. So until they got a little bit older, it was sort of almost impossible. So I moved on. I did a load of computer gaming, was what I sort of filled the void with for a long period. And when everyone had gone to bed and it was mayhem, and mayhem was over in the night, I could get on the computer and play some silly, whatever, strategy games and that kind of thing. So, yeah, it was probably about 10. Yeah, think about it, probably 10 years. There was a complete break. And then when the kids got a bit older, get back into it again.
Yeah. I think with me, I went through a couple of breaks. I gamed and painted between 91 and 99. It was literally constant of just 40k painting, battle tech, all kinds of just games, because I used to go to a local club, and then everyone just seemed to get cast to the four corners of the UK. And all my mates went off to uni or to work in different places. Now I kept painting, but this was back in sort of 99, 2000. I think Warhammer 40k 3rd edition had come out, and my couple of mates that had remained, we tried, we didn't like it, and then they just sort of walked away from the hobby completely. They weren't really interested. So I tried keeping the painting up, but I didn't. So I went about 4 or 5 years. We went 4 years, and then in 2004, I got back in contact with one of my old gaming friends, and he just discovered Flames of War. So we both got an interest in sort of World War II. So we started playing that for a bit, and then we started expanding back out into sci-fi. We started playing War Machine on a weekly basis. That got to about 2006, and then it just all sort of fell over again. I got into online video gaming, so I spent an ungodly amount of hours playing Call of Duty 4, sort of around 2007, and then that went on for about 3 years. And it wasn't until about 2014 where I dabbled in I didn't have a permanent setup. I was just buying bits and pieces. I wasn't really interested. It wasn't until about 2014 actually I had a proper painting setup, and that's when I first discovered bolt action. So it's been since about 10 years now. But it's just interesting how people go through like these peaks and troughs of being in the hobby or being out the hobby, and what brings them back in. For me,
it's quite a time-consuming hobby, really, isn't it? And I think that's the problem. And also, I think by our nature, most of us are quite all in on it. I don't know many people that just drop in a little bit and do a little bit and then move off. So we're all kind of very intense on it when we're doing it, and so I think it's quite difficult to do it on a sort of part-time basis almost. It's so what I
like about it though is that I think it even when you're younger and you get into it, it has that hold on you for years, and it's always with you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's part of the game, right?
you can't argue with that, really. But I mean, there's loads. We've spoken to countless people over the years, and a vast majority have had some form of sort of break or stepping away from the hobby, and then getting back. It's interesting that it's, like I say, it has that hold on you. You can never quite escape from it.
I think once you're a gamer or once you're a painter or whatever, it's there in your psyche. I don't know about you guys, but even when I wasn't doing it, I was still fascinated by it. I'd still pick up magazines from time to time, still look at, if I could get to a shop or what have you, look at what's going on. It's still there. I don't think you ever lose it. So I think that's why we all come back to it again eventually.
I missed the painting. I remember sitting down. The first things I'd properly sat down to paint in a while was that first box of Warlord British Infantry, which were just ghastly. But it was nice putting some paint on figures. And I just thought, from then on, it's just I've probably painted more in the past sort of 9 years than I've ever painted in my entire life. I've just been a lot more productive than not. It's been a good time though. But like I say, I think once it takes hold, you will never escape. It's always going to be with you.
It should have a sign: "Enter your doom." Once you're in, you can never escape.
It's like on the Simpsons, where Homer's got that sign in front of his desk. Never forget you're here forever.
Very true. Glendurd says about having the 3 generation gamers in his family. I wonder whether that sort of colours. I mean, there were no gamers in my family, so I don't know. But whether having, a father or grandfather or whatever that gamed as well, or whether it, that changes the mechanics of it.
Yeah, for me, my dad was a modeler. In fact, I was 2 days old and I had my first dinky tank when I was 2 days old. So I went through 3 years of watching him just build model after model after model. So I always had that sort of exposure to scale modeling. No, never the wargaming side, but
no.
There was always ships or tanks or jeeps or planes being built all around the house. So that's sort of what I was always fascinated by that. So I was building Airfix models badly even before I knew what wargaming was. But I think that was like a natural progression for me. Right, let's talk about why we're here, the OPC. So just going back in the midst of time, where did it come from? How did it start?
Well, the OPC originally started with it's your fault, Steve.
All right, good stuff.
Because
yet another one, Steve.
Do you remember Crack-On won? And there was going to be the first painting competition, and it involved cork.
Yes.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, yes. And in the painting competition, you had your actual competition held at the convention, but you also ran it online. So we entered It's Online, and then I'm sure Warren and Tony and Bjorn, we all started talking about maybe setting something up because we liked the idea and we thought it was a great challenge to do. And obviously there was no prizes for the online people, but we all decided to have a little go at that, and then we started messaging each other, and we set up our own little group, and then we started kicking some ideas about. Warren, is that how you remember it started?
Yeah, I think so. You had to make a model with cork in it. That's right. And then I think it was Bjorn who put something on a post on Facebook saying, "Hey, we're thinking of doing this. What do you think?" Yeah. And that might have been the start of us getting together to chat about it. Yeah. So that's 2019, I think, was when he put that post. So
was it really
2 years back?
That's going back a while, right, isn't it?
Late 2019, I think, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Jeez.
So Crack-On kicked it off.
That's really interesting. So when you're talking about it, how do you come up? Because I mean, I'd be useless at running anything like this. So the OPC 1, it was a theme, wasn't it? It was just, or was it?
Yeah.
Or was it just? Yeah.
No, it was just paint. It was we had specific themes, and they were mainly kind of topics. So paint a, I don't know, paint a champion or whatever, and they were just sort of random themes. I think for the first couple of years we just sort of came up with ideas that might be fun to do each month, and then it kind of changed for this year just gone, and we decided to go with a more of an army theme, like a longer term theme where you were sort of doing something each month towards a bigger project. But prior to that, no, it's just really just topics. So we just brainstormed, I guess, didn't we, Paul, on Messenger, and until we came up with a few, and then shared them.
Do you think when people are doing that, because I've always found if I've got a goal to paint to, it focuses me, and I can because I'm distracted constantly by shiny things and just anything. I get distracted really, really easy. It's why I've got about 12 things and I go at once. But if I've got a specific thing in mind, I can get that done and I'm focused. Do you think the OPC is, although it's very, very laid back and very informal, do you think it's given people that sort of focus on completing a certain unit or a miniature in time for the end of the month to be able to show that off to the rest of the community?
I think in 2024 in particular, I think a lot of people, quite a few people anyway, found it really useful to keep momentum going on a project and get get an army done or a good start on an army. I think that's for sure. I think the thing I really like about it's the sort of feeling of doing something with some others, like doing something in common. We spend a fair amount of time, don't we, in our own little hobby rooms doing our own thing. So it's sort of nice to be working on something together. And I think that community aspect of it, I think, is perhaps something that a lot of people find attractive as well.
Well, definitely. I mean, sometimes I think painting can be quite I know it's a solitary hobby. It's a solitary pursuit. But if you've got that community, literally just on a screen next to you, and we've got the Facebook group, and we've got various podcasts. I think as well that definitely helps with the production, with the painting. Knowing there's like-minded people out there doing what you're doing, I think that really helps. Paul, when you're just go off topic, when you're doing sort of something for a competition, is that what you work on solely, or do you have other things on the go as well?
Normally, I've got to just concentrate on that. Sometimes a magazine will contact me and say, "Will you do this?" And then I'll drop what I'm doing and maybe do that. But sometimes I've spoken to editors of magazines and said, I can't at the moment. I'm doing, this for this competition, which is just a few months away. Would you still be interested in the piece if I do it when I've got more time? Being retired now, you'd think I have loads of times to do stuff, but not really. It does take a massive amount of time to paint figures to the standard that you've got to have any chance of winning at all. I think as well with what Warren was just saying, I think there's also an incentive for people to do stuff for the OPC because they get their figures shared, on the podcast. We have discussed, haven't we, that it did become so popular that there could be a restriction on it moving forward. That it couldn't always be a guarantee that you guys will show things because it was almost becoming something that was so popular that it was taking too much time in a sense.
I know when we've shown like the end of a month, so OPC, last year we got off the end of the month. There was quite a lot of photographs, but again, like you say, I think it's a big motivation for people in seeing and showing what you've worked on. I mean, I know we've mentioned this before. Showing what you've painted and what you've worked on, it's a daunting thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a seasoned veteran or you've been painting for a couple of days. Showing off what you've worked on through sort of YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any kind of social media. I still crap my pants whenever I post anything. I still find it really, really intimidating. doesn't matter where I'm posting it or where I'm showing it, it's still that thing in the back of your mind. But I do like to show people what I'm working on. I think that it's definitely reflected in the OPC, and that people, you can see the time that people have put into it on what they've produced, and really proud of what they've come up with, and seeing that shown and shown to the community. I think that's a really big thing.
I think that's one of the things that I get slightly frustrated with the whole thing, was just there's so many people doing so many good things. I almost feel we don't do it justice by, because we don't have enough time. There's so many now. Yeah. It's just it's trying to show it off properly, rather than just whistling through. So it's kind of because. And I think the other thing I love about it is the variety. I mean, you've got people like yourself, well, both of you guys, the quality you're producing is phenomenal. And then you've got all different spectrums of painting, down to the level I would do, which is, I think it's great to see. Hopefully nobody's put off in just having a go at it.
Oh, God. I think
it's for fun.
Yeah, I think you guys kind of set the kind of tone with the viewers' pictures, right from the beginning. You've always kind of been very, you always select a wide variety of things, and it's kind of like a celebration of people's work. So there's been a nice feeling that comes from the show, but also on the Facebook group as well. That's kind of kept in the Facebook group as well. So I think that makes it easier to share things.
Yep.
Oh, so that's why we always say to people, join the Facebook group. Just see what people are working. You never know what you're going to see in there. I can't imagine Dom's brain anytime he opens the Facebook group. He's like, "What the hell is that?"
I used to think I was quite a broad-minded fellow, but then I see some of the stuff that people get up to on that channel. I think, gee whiz.
If you want to know, Dom, broad-minded is not a phrase that we've ever used when it comes to wargaming with you.
Fair enough.
But I know, Paul, whenever you've mentioned the community, you've always been really positive about it. I know that certain groups or communities can be quite. I'm not going to say. I hate using the word toxic, because I don't think it doesn't really capture what people.
How about ascorbic? That's another word that I like.
But I know, Paul, you've always mentioned that the PCP Facebook group is one place that you really enjoy, posting in.
It's my favourite site of posting. I can't ever remember getting a negative comment for anything I've ever posted. And funnily enough, I find as my painting is improving in sort of in quality, for want of a better word, it gets more sort of negative comments from people, not more positive comments on certain sites that you post in, which I find is a bit odd. But people just want to have a go at you for something, rather than just scrolling on, or let's pick on that, or that's not right, or I don't think that's very good. But you never get any of that on the PCP.
People get more critical the better you get.
I'm shocked. How I don't have the words. I really don't. That's shocking. That's really bad. I wonder what that's got to be. That's just got to be rank jealousy. That I'm going to call it rank jealousy.
I think. Yeah.
So Warren, with you, because you're quite a prolific painter as well, aren't you? I mean, you post really regularly in the Facebook group. So, what's your secret to doing that? Do you just set them out a certain time to paint, or do you just paint whenever you've got the opportunity?
Yes, I paint whenever I've got the opportunity. I mean, I love painting, so it's not a chore at all. So I probably average 2.5 hours a day. From about 8:30 or something till 10:30, and sometimes a bit more on the weekends. Yeah, I love it. It's the sort of thing you're thinking about at work. Can't wait to get back to the desk to do some painting. I just love it. It's just not but I'm kind of probably as much a modeler as a gamer. I mean, I do many more hours modeling and painting than I do gaming. So it's that aspect of the hobby which I really love. It's the sort of the opportunity to be a bit creative, isn't it? That I think is really fantastic and rewarding.
So I don't get it, Warren. You just talked about a very sort of sensible historical route in the hobby. Chain of command, 20mm Second World War figures. And you paint the weirdest shit I think that we ever get on our Facebook page. How?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, Dungeons and Dragons probably, and being a Lord of the Rings fan, that kind of set me up for
Yeah.
being interested in the sort of fantasy side of things, and that really captured my imagination for sure. I think the 3D printing also like opens up this whole world of models.
Yeah.
You know, there are just so many incredible creators out there putting their stuff out, and that really it's like a smorgasbord of stuff that you can find, and some of it is just really way out there, and some of it's just enormous fun.
I think, Warren, for me,
That
the ones
stuff
that
is fun to paint.
the ones that always stand out for me was the guys in the bunny suits.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I saw them, I was like, these could be used for so many games. They just look awesome.
Every time
they
I
showed
see a
up in the
picture of
Space
yours
Weeders.
go up, I think, oh my God, what kind of weirdness is he doing now?
It's
It's
I know.
like, Jesus.
I've got to
It's-
try and recover my reputation a bit. That's why I'm posting some cute things. So the gnomes went up this week to see if I could recover some kind of reputation. Otherwise, I might start to get edited off the page.
You've blown it, mate. You've blown it. That's all I'm saying.
Now, Warren, you play Space Weirdos, don't you?
Yeah, only just started. Yeah.
I just had to get that in.
know.
I just had to get that in.
I was going to say, I think
Oh,
are we starting the the game now for that one as well?
Oh,
It used to be
Space
3D
Weirdos.
print, now it's Space Weirdos.
Space
When everyone
Weirdos.
says that, yeah.
It's just good to see. Some
It's
other
a good
people playing.
game. It's
It is.
fun. Plus, it's an opportunity to paint some, sci-fi. Just and such a small figure count doesn't take a long time to get a war band together, and it's great fun.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Game under an hour. Fantastic. Which is why I love it. Paul, have you while we're on the subject of weirdness, have you ventured down that road at any point? So sort of the grim dark oddness.
Not really, no. I mean, painted some sneak feet, war games. I like sneak feet recently.
Oh yeah, I saw them. Yeah, they were good. They were really like them.
But that was just because I was sort of asked to do them, really, rather than set out to deliberately paint them, if you know what I mean.
You're just a sensible fellow, aren't you, Paul?
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're looking
Is there a rite of passage? Have you?
W stuff, but that's about as far as it goes.
No, we always ask people, have you dabbled in Turnip 28 at some point? That's sort of the benchmark of the weird shit that most people get to. If you dabbled, have you been sticking tufts to things and putting plague masks on?
You've been dabbling on turnip lately.
It's definitely one of those things. I know, Warren, some of the stuff that you've produced is very turnip-esque. Some of those, especially your OPC from last year, that had some very, very turnip-looking creations.
Yeah, I think you set the pace with that, Steve, for sure. At least you validated the whole category of weird on the show. So I feel at home.
Good stuff. This is not back considering that 4 years ago I'd only ever paint World War II
I know.
miniatures.
Do you remember those days?
I still say that was why we've lost him. We've lost his camera.
Can you still hear me? I think my camera's
I
gone
can
a
hear
bit
you. Your
funny.
camera's gone off, mate.
Let me just check.
Yeah, when we commissioned him all those years ago to be on this show, it was to be. That sounds really grand, doesn't it? It wasn't. It's just we thought he's the Second World War man. He's the one that will cover everything to do with grey stuff. And look at him now. He's just completely taken it off into a tangent of weirdness. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm having some. Oh, no, wait, I'm back.
There you go.
Hey, there we go.
You're back.
Not
There you
quite
go.
sure
There you go.
Yeah. No, it's true. I've been down some dark paths since diversifying my painting.
Just show some shame. Come on. Sorry, carry on.
Have we got some pictures we could show? I think we've got. Yes. So I think we'll go. Oh God, there's quite a few, isn't there? Blimey.
It's a shit
Right,
ton.
yes, we have got quite a few. So we'll run through these. Have a bit of a break for the news, and then just carry on with these because it's great to see. And we wanted to do this kind of episode once everyone's OPCs were done for 2024. Yep. So the plan for last year was every month someone would paint something, a specific unit or a character or a vehicle or sort of piece of terrain, and then by the end of December, as if by magic, you'd all have finished armies. And seeing people in December posted up their finished armies, I said it in the Facebook group. It was one of the best moments we've had on there. It's seeing that people who actually finishing a full army. I mean, I can only dream of such madness. But it's been great seeing people's results. So we're going to start off with yours, Warren, the Church of Wrath. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning.
I mean, there you go. Exhibit A. There you go. I mean, this man is a historical gamer. Right. Don't believe it.
Something's gone badly wrong.
Something's gone very wrong. That's fantastic. They are amazing.
Yeah, brilliant.
I have no idea what they are, but they're fantastic.
Well, there's some close-ups for you. Look at that. Look at that. I like that thing. Looks like some kind of gaunt thing with the multiple arms hanging down and the I can only imagine what Dom's brain.
It's great listening to someone trying to describe it as well. You're trying to describe it. I love that thing.
It's just a thing.
With the flayed skin and the spider thing.
I mean,
Eloquently put, Martin.
What was what was the make of those again? Because you found, were they a mixture, or because there was one?
Yeah, they are a mixture. They're mainly a group called Cast and Play, and then Bestiarum. So Bestiarum, they're just right out there weird. Their stuff.
So I
remember
you posted on that. And I think that question was asked, and I was sitting on a train, and I was looking at that at their website on the train next to my friend as we were traveling to London. And I looked up, and he just had the strangest expression on my face as he was peering over my shoulder, looking at what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's just a fantastic, and it's such a cohesive looking army as well.
It's cool. It is, and that,
they're all 3D printed too. Every one of them.
That's brilliant. Up next, we have Tony and his Brunswickers. I was not amazed, but the amount of people who did Napoleonic armies during last year's OPC, I think that's a good way of focusing people. It wouldn't work for me, but there we go. So here's Tony's Brunswickers. So look at those, some artillery. I think I could paint these because they're quite dark, aren't they?
Yep, it's just black.
Very nice,
but they're lovely.
But it's hard to make black work, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd have the.
Isn't that wasn't that your thought behind the Prussians though?
It was.
You think that was going to be.
Because they're nice and easy to paint, I said. Yes. Another untruth.
They are lovely, though, aren't they? They are really, really nice. And again, seeing a fully completed army and seeing it grow month by month, I think that for me was a big motivation for people to keep going as well. You've got your target, your unit, your miniature set, your character, etc. And just seeing an army build like that. I wish I'd got involved now. But I just knew that I'd fail by about the second one because I'd just be.
Well, I think that's the thing. Everyone always says, I find it really hard to produce an army, and so if you do this, you do it in bite-sized chunks. It's doable, right? I mean, you don't have to do it overnight, so you can do it over the course of a year, and just pace yourself. I think.
Yeah,
I like his scratch built LaHaye Saint.
Yes.
How do you pronounce that?
Yeah,
yep.
That's completely scratch built. It's come up fantastic, isn't it?
Wow, that's really good.
Amazing.
But again, at the end of the year, you've got a completed Napoleonic army. Tony, Yeah, he had a few things going on. So first of all, look at this: burrows and badgers.
This was his side project, I think.
Yeah,
He got 2 armies done.
Jeez.
again, so somebody else. As soon as you get bitten by the burrows and badgers bug, you can't go back. You just got to keep.
I love
painting.
those little buildings. Where are they from?
I think they're Sarissa.
Are they?
Yeah, they make the range for
Yeah.
birds and badgers.
Tony did discuss coming on tonight with us as well, but well, he's got to go to work.
No. We'll have him on at some point, I can imagine. And is it so? His ostrich was his main one, wasn't it? I mean, look.
Yeah. I mean, that's
It looks fantastic.
Cool.
Amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. Although the thought of painting that amount of bright colours gives me chest pains, immense chest pains. And there's the completed army. Look at that! I mean,
Look at that. Yeah.
If that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will, because that is brilliant.
Look at the cavalry. Look at the number in that unit.
Yeah.
Just lovely. Oh, so nice.
Really, really nice.
Is there anything better than massed Napoleonics? I don't think so.
Mass medievals.
Is there anything better than massed Napoleonics?
Space weirdos.
Yes, space weirdos.
So from Napoleonics, we now have Stevens. I'm not even going to pretend to know what any of this means.
It's just random words, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
I mean, that is awesome, though.
That is just extraordinary.
If you put these up, these were just such a. But they were so different as well. It was just so bright as well. I really enjoyed these.
I mean,
wowza!
Just
wowza!
If we had prizes for the most fun, I think Stephen might win it. Because every time he posted, he'd post a story with it as well, so you track along, find out a bit about his homemade lore. It was really great fun.
Unbelievable.
I mean, what I like about these is that how they're tied together with that blue color scheme. Yeah. It just links everything together. But they are just, I don't know. Like you said, like Warren, every time you could tell that Stephen enjoyed painting these immensely just by by looking at them, but also the lore and the background that he came out with as well. But they are absolutely fantastic.
I do think that that helps the painting process too, doesn't it? It's when you've got, it's like doing a series of retinues for War of the Roses, or doing an army based on a campaign or a battle list of some sort. If you've got that narrative in your head, I think it helps you work through it.
It does.
So much.
That's
just
look at that.
The terrain as well.
I mean, I think for me
the bases really work, don't they?
Yes, that for me that sums up the OPC in that ending up with an army just looking like that, just brilliant, just brilliant. So from Stephen's weirdness, we're going back to Napoleon as a snow expert. Any insights?
It's funny enough, the snow's making a return this year. I'm going to reserve judgment, but no, I do think it's. I just like the cool blues. I think that really helped.
Yeah,
it looks really nice. So, like I said, we're now returning back to Napoleonics with Sam. Now, we should point out that Sam furnished us with that beer that we were consuming this time.
Yeah, so these are rubbish. We hated them.
I don't think I'll ever quite recover from that. It was, but he's got a better taste in miniatures than he's got in beers anyway. So I think he was doing British, wasn't he? So here's some artillery.
Very nice.
This was his first attempt at Napoleonics too, by the way.
Yeah.
His first go at it.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Geez. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a daunting thing to go into, your first Napoleonics. I mean,
Definitely.
And here's his infantry.
Nice.
What I like about them is just how crisp they're painted. They're just so sharp.
Very much so. It's hard to do that where they look so crisp, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
but they
Very
Yeah,
good.
the layering on there is very smooth. The application of the paint.
yeah.
Right.
It's just, I mean, that white again, just crisp, and the way it's just so neat as well. And here was his overall.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, I dread to think how many hours went into that. That's a lot of work, right there. A lot of work.
Beautiful. Really
I'm
good.
more concerned about the bottle of beer that he's got on the back. That could be anything. Some kind of awfulness lurking in there.
Yeah, definitely is.
But that is really, really good. And again, Napoleonics. So next is Rich and his Sassanids.
There was a lot of Napoleonics. A lot of people did seem to use it as inspiration to finally push themselves for that Napoleonic project and see people at the same time. Is that because isn't Napoleonics for a lot of people the block, getting that monotony of uniform and lace and shakos and belts, but something like the OPC that they could then share in. Do you think that had something to do with that? There was a lot of Napoleonics, wasn't there?
Yeah, I reckon it would help when you've got a lot of monotony in front of you, a lot of work, and maybe hopefully this year's will help with that as well. Some extra encouragement to get lots of models done.
Yeah.
No, it was good seeing, like I say, people, especially tackling their first Napoleonics as well.
I think it's also that bite-sized chunk bit, isn't it? Like you said, you can just do a battalion, do a regiment, do a whatever. Yeah, I think it's...
Paint some lace, paint some drummers. Regret your life choices immediately. Hey!
Oh, no. Another
Silverbane
one.
and turnip, good stuff. Up next is Richard with his Sassanids. These are excellent. Oh yeah, colours. The colours on these. Oh,
I know I'm not supposed to have any favourites, but these are my favourites. Just as I said many times, they just bring memories back of all those magazines and all those old books of wargaming books. I just love seeing Sassanid armies. Don't know why. Not those sort of magazines, Martin.
No, that's not why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing about that. I thought you were going to say, they bring back memories of when I was there. Sorry.
I say.
Look.
No.
Look at that.
Just unbelievable force. Look.
They are. The colours.
It's fabulous.
His elephants. The elephants. I mean, how do you beat elephants?
Elephants are just the best, aren't they? They're just amazing. Wow.
We've got another. There we go. An overhead pit. That
just brilliant.
What I liked about
three of those elephants.
Yes. What I liked about last year, again, we talked about people doing Napoleonics, but the amount of diversity. I mean, you've got these Napoleonics, Warren's weirdness. There's just people. If everyone had been doing sort of, let's everyone do a World War II army, let's everyone do American Civil War, etc. But
Okay, Joe.
Actually, Martin, Richard actually said that he'd always wanted a Sassanid army, so I guess he used the OPC to get it.
Yeah, good on
so that's perfect.
Yeah, like Dom said, I mean, the motivation, the inspiration to keep focused on doing or building and painting an army you've always wanted. That is just brilliant. Right, we'll go through a couple more, and then we'll crack on with the news. This is Richard again, more Napoleonics. So these are these British? I can only tell because they got red on. That's about the limit of my Napoleonic.
No, the other lot.
What, French?
Yeah, they're French.
Yeah.
Why are they wearing red?
They're right.
Two of them.
Red jackets.
Two of them are French. Well, no, I don't know. When definitely the man on the horse and the sapper are definitely French.
Oh yeah, I can see the guy with his nice white coat.
Unless it's silver bayonets or something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
But yeah,
there's the whole thing.
Oh, he's done both sides. Well, there you go. He's done both sides. There
you go.
That solves that problem.
My God, that's
so Richard actually swore he'd never do Napoleonics 28 mil again. But apparently Apparently, he won a couple of boxes of Napoleonics at CrackCon.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Oh
Yeah, so that's kind of what triggered that. Look at that. I mean,
So that's CrackCon booty there.
yeah. Now he
Fantastic.
did all of this year, except apparently for one unit of French Dragoons. But that's
Wow.
not bad, is it? For a year.
That's
extraordinarily
good.
I dread to estimate how many hours have been pumped into that, because that must be a lot of time. Just a few now, yeah.
Just a few.
Just a few now.
Just a few. Right. So up next is Paul's Romans. So again, first time some Romans. Hey, look at those.
Yeah,
Lovely
division there. Very cool.
I was
actually surprised there weren't more Romans in this. I thought
are these proper Romans? Or?
It might by whose reckoning?
Yeah,
Ken's.
No, by Ken's reckoning, no. By my reckoning, yeah.
Just brilliant.
I do like that. I do like what I like about them is the troops at the front. They're not rigidly lined up. They've got that sort of battle look about them, which I really, really like. There you go. That's a good example.
There's no wiggly bases either. Fantastic.
They just look so cool. And then we've got that.
That's brilliant.
What is that? Like self-propelled artillery?
It is self-propelled artillery for the ancient period. I love it.
What could possibly go wrong firing that?
Yeah, was that from the cart?
It was great. Total war room.
That is awesome.
Oh, brilliant. Right, we'll crack on with a few more. Have we got some news?
Yeah, a fair bit. A little bit, anyway.
Before we go into the news, a bit of housekeeping. Big thanks to everyone watching on the catch-up. Didn't do that at the beginning. And don't forget, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords Hobbies. So use the code PCP5 when you're checking out at the Boards and Swords web store. And this will get you an additional 5% of your already discounted purchases. As always, if you need any help, just contact Ian and the guys at the shop, and they'll be able to help you out with anything that you need from them.
Awesome.
Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all that rubbish as well. Right. Absolutely hate
you
it.
do it so well.
I'm so enthusiastic when I do it. I am the epitome of enthusiasm and YouTubery professional. Arse is what it is. Right, so news. I'll leave it to you guys because I found nothing.
I found nothing, so I'm relying on Dom, but I'm happily comment.
All right, I found some things. Don't know what you lot have been doing. Where are we? So there are some new Eureka 20mm US paras that might interest you, Warren. They look rather nice indeed.
They do.
I think that's the second lot. They did some earlier last year, and this is another wave of paras coming through. So for the 20mm amongst you, that'll get you very interested. Also, one of my favourite games. I know Martin loves this too.
Yes.
Oh,
Dead
nice.
Man's Hand, new faction.
Yeah.
This is called the Family.
Yeah. So
which
it's
I love.
essentially Yellowstone, isn't it? It's
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's very cool. And what I really like is about the way Dead Man's Hand are doing this is how they are still producing metal sets to go hand. They aren't, obviously they've got their generic cowboys, cowgirls, female gunfighters. They've got the mounted ones. Hopefully, going to do have Native Americans and stuff, but I really like it how they are still keeping up the production on the metal ones as well. So if you can't be bothered to go through all of the multi-part, you can just go along and I want this, all the rules there, and you grab it and you got them. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, really nice. What else?
Great.
Sorry.
They look great.
Yeah, they do. I like those.
Loads of character.
Reconquer. Yet more beautiful figures.
Oh, those are out now.
Yeah, that's this month. That's the current ones, isn't it? And there's some more coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the other ones because the new ones have got these really nice pervases that he's done a little sort of like a slotter base to slide in with on them.
Yeah, it prints with the 25mm diameter on it, so you haven't got to like stick it to it or anything. So yeah, it's got like the pervases at a nice 45-degree angle, and then it's got a 25mm slot, like a slotter, so it'll just go, it'll just fit around it, which I think it's really, really nice. They're a really, really nice set. But his crossbowmen, all of the crossbow sets, are fantastic. You know, whether it was the Arab ones or the Spanish ones, he's done some just awesome stuff.
Yeah,
they're very cool.
Very cool indeed. What else? Some weird shit. How about that? So, War Games Atlantic. The new Quaz War box set, I think, is already just gone on pre-sale or about to go on pre-sale. So you get a little tank, like that. Yeah. Are you persisting that one, Steve?
Do you know what? Every time I've got a box of core, right? And every time I sit down to paint them, I end up doing something else, and I really, really need to make a start on them because I absolutely love the figures. I think they're so nice. They're just weird and strange. The background is strange. It's just everything that I should like, but I've never got round to painting them. But some of the stuff that's being developed at the moment is utterly insane. I mean, the tanks. I love the tanks because they're just a bit odd looking.
They're called tractors, aren't they? In this,
they are called tractors. Yeah. Yes, they are called tractors.
Yeah, I like that.
They're also going on pre-sale very shortly, if not now. The Age of Fury Foot Sergeant box sets.
Yeah, I think,
which I think most of us are going to be trying to get hands on a box.
I'll be trying to get some of them. Yes.
They are. Well, I'd say I love the peasants that they just put out. They were fantastic, and I loved all the men at arms. Or the men at arms they did previously were amazing. So I'm fully expecting these to be fantastic.
While I remember, how many peasants do you get? Is it 30?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
30 peasants. Yeah. So that's that. And also the Blessed Perrys. All hail the Perrys. They've expanded their early Napoleonic War range, or about to anyway. So some opponents for the French, which they've put out, or about to put out. I think Alan's working on these. I mean, just usual amazing stuff. I'm still trying to work out how I can, put them into a peninsular army, but I don't think I can. But there you go. Really nice.
We'll be fine.
It could be guerrillas, couldn't they?
Exactly. A peasant's a peasant. You said that in your last video.
I did. Peasant is a peasant. And then I got corrected in that by someone then trying to explain to me that around the War of the Roses, they would have changed their fashion. I said, I don't think peasants change fashion, but there you go.
That wasn't me.
No, it wasn't him.
But I will be changing the headgear on my peasants.
Yeah, the headgear is a bit weird.
It's got images of Baldric walking down a catwalk now.
I had a similar thought, Steve. So there you go. That's what I saw.
I found nothing because I've been arguing with developers for the last couple of days, and I've not found anything. So that's my input, I'm afraid.
I found nothing because I just don't. I never see anything. I just don't because I'm not on the other site anymore. I'm on Blue Sky, and you don't tend to get a lot of news on there. I just tend to look at nice pretty models.
I'm not on either of them. I've never been on either. I can't stand either of them.
A different taint of mud.
Probably true, Benjamin. Probably true.
But,
I must admit, I pick most of mine up on Facebook, but that's mainly because I'm trying to avoid spending money on anything. So it pops up and I go, oh, yeah, maybe. And then I just copy it to keep it for for Monday nights, and then sometimes I might purchase it. Sometimes I might.
I like this mentality. I'm trying to avoid buying stuff, so I'll actively go out to find some new stuff
Yeah,
instead.
that's my logic, mate, and I'm sticking to it.
That's brilliant. Right, let's get back onto some more OPC goodness. Where are we up to? So we're going to go with Matt now and Romans and Celts.
Three.
Oh, and again, two, not just one army, but two.
Wowzer.
Okay, just
Wowzer.
that is so nice. Let's get some close-up pictures going on.
The chariot was very cool.
Oh yeah,
That is just brilliant.
That's lovely.
Picturesque.
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's the Celt.
So that's
Ken-
proper Romans, Ken would
That's
say.
proper Romans. Ken would approve, yeah.
Yeah.
Martin, can you confirm if the woad is the correct shade of blue?
that conversation, that beats all of the ones arguments I've had about heraldry and flags. That one was just ridiculous. That one.
Brilliant stuff. Now, again, so we're back to Napoleonics with Pat. And I think, I don't know whether this was Pat's first attempt at Napoleonics, but look at that.
Oh, wow.
That is beautiful to behold. And there's a lot of cavalry there, too.
There is a
Yeah,
lot of
one,
cavalry.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cavalry
Yeah, I think so.
squadrons. And then you've got the, I mean, well,
Got the
8
wagons, are they
infantry
wagons in the top corner there?
Yeah.
So that's another one.
limbers, isn't there? Are they limbers?
Are they limbers? Wow.
He did a couple of wagons. We've
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
there's
picture, I
wagons,
think,
haven't
in a minute of his medical
yeah.
unit, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Unbelievably.
He's done the Berlin coach as well.
Yes, he has. You're right. That's that model. That's lovely.
Yeah,
There's the medical unit.
Yeah.
I love it.
And what I like as well about the people's Napoleonic entries, they're so different compared to each other. They've got different units, and then it's just such a diverse mix within a certain genre. But that looks, I wouldn't like to be that guy on the stretcher. He's not going to have a very good day. Let's be honest.
That surgeon doesn't look positive, does he?
No.
No.
What the heck am I going to do with this one, he's saying?
Yeah.
When you
How do
search
you put this one
Sonovia,
back together?
yeah. Yeah, he doesn't exactly exude an air of confidence about him. Let's put it that way. That is, but again, adding something like that, it just really does add to it. Absolutely brilliant.
It just brings the extra colour to the game, doesn't it? I just think that's just so nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
it's
fun
funny you
looking at.
Sorry, Warren, go on.
I was going to say it's just fun. It was fun watching what people did for their support units.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
terrain. Some had to think pretty kind of laterally to come up with something, for those particular challenges. But it was really awesome seeing what they did.
Yeah, I think that is brilliant. It's just such a weird thing to come up with, but no, it really works. Now, Dom's just mentioned about bringing a bit of colour. So Mark did Landsknets.
Oh, yeah.
Would you know what my favourite thing on there is? And it all looks cool, but I absolutely love the cannon.
Yeah.
I met when he posted that, and the whole thing was cool, but that cannon I thought was just such a standout piece as well, and it was a centerpiece as well as artillery. It just looks awesome. I really, really like that.
Wow.
They're metal pikes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God, I bet
That's going to hurt.
Mark is a pretty strictly historical kind of guy, isn't he? But apparently this is Christoph de Burgh's army.
Yeah, Christoph.
And
Christoph
under his lady in red banner.
Oh, full marks for that. Well done.
So I've got some of other Mark stuff. So there's his bit of scenery, bit of a
was his
windmill with
terrain.
it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And the lady in red banner there.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant.
I love this. The guy. Keep a lookout, mate. I'm going to have a bit of a drink round here.
Lovely colour selection he's picked for this army.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So again, just really, really crisp painting on these. But and again, something very different you wouldn't normally see. It's probably drinking some vile plonk out of that stuff. Though it's probably not the best, but yeah, really good. So we've gone from Landsnet to so Lee did 2 as well. So we've got let's go with this first one first because I want to see what Dom makes of this. Epic squats.
Yes.
I mean, I've been known to have epic scripts occasionally, but that's amazing. Holy smoke! What are they?
They are. Well, let's try and explain. They're now called the Leagues of Votan. They were.
They're space dwarfs, Dom.
Space
dwarfs.
Space dwarves. Okay, I'll go with that.
And
I
then-
can handle that.
So back in sort of the early 90s when Epic Space Marine came out, and this was how everything was based. It was big games. And then the squats got eaten by the Tyranids. So if you ever hear the term of something being squatted, it means they've been removed from the lore and the game all together. The squats were eaten by a Tyranid high fleet, and then brought back a couple of years back now as the Leagues of Votan. Yeah, you don't look impressed there, Dom.
I still have no idea what you're talking about, mate. But lovely, absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
There's some airships in there. You can see airships.
I like the airships. They look really cool. I like the. I thought it was another one of those Qua little tank things there as well.
No, that's a what was that called? It was the I can't remember it. It's basically it's a giant, great big war machine on tracks. It doesn't get any better though, Dom, because Lee's other one he did Tomb Kings.
Yeah. That's cool.
That is really, really cool. Do like that a lot. Is this all based up for the old world?
Looks like it.
It does look that way. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, definitely. Oh, look at those shields. Oh,
wow. Gee whiz.
That's what I like about those is sometimes painting undead, you just got one color, bone. And so having shields like that really, it adds a bit to them and takes the monotony out of just painting bone constantly. But they are really good. I like the sort of the blue turquoise theme all the way through as well.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those, what's that big snake thing at the back?
Yeah.
That's the new. Wasn't that? I can't remember what it's. Oh no, the cobra looking things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember what they're called, but are they? I can't remember if they're new or if they're. But yeah, I've seen them. Have they got someone riding on their back as well?
I think they might do. Those chariots look awesome as well.
Chariot, fantastic. Yeah.
What I find amazing about that, so I was talking to my mate Alec down at the local club, and he's just painted his first fantasy army, which is quite extraordinary because by his admission, he's an older war gamer. But he said, I chose to do skeletons because they were dead easy to paint. But then he's done those like that are dead easy to paint, and then he's made them all colourful with all their armour and weapons and stuff. I mean, wow.
It just makes
Hang on, we just have to bow to this joke. Hang on.
Oh.
Very good, Dermot. Well done.
He's here all night, folks. Tip him on the way out. Right.
Did those skeleton cavalry originally come with those surcoats on the horses?
I don't know.
I mean, they're so good. They look like they've been added.
What, the horse curtains?
Yeah.
I love that expression, horse curtains. I don't know why.
Wow.
It's just tickles me. But yeah, I don't know. I have to look into that. That's actually really inspiring for someone that is working on Undead at the moment. I might have to look at that a bit more. Right, let's return to form for Dom. Somebody he may understand. So KS has been working on some Barons War stuff.
Ah, very good, very good.
Is this more
Lovely?
Yes.
That is nice.
I like the fact he's done the tent in the same colour as his lord.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is a real. That's what I like about Barons War is like that the forces aren't massive, are they? They're quite small, sort of large skirmish. But yeah, the blue and yellow that he's used. I mean, look at that base. Just look at that.
I wonder what his peasants are like. Have they got the right outfits on?
Yeah.
Are they wearing this season's mud?
Yeah, I think they might be. Fantastic. Really nice.
Brilliant. You never know. Next season, he might be wearing.
Hang on, just go back to that one again.
Yeah.
Is that a very big pipe on the table? Beside those big apples?
No, I think it's a mug with a knife.
Oh, it's a mug with
the knife next to it.
I thought, bloody hell, there's a giant coming in a minute with going to smoke his pipe.
That'd be a pipe and a half. That, but again, yeah, I just love the blue and yellow theme that he's used throughout. I mean, look at that! Oh,
yeah.
Oh, the catapult is fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. The crew is great, isn't it? Like seeing the full crew around it.
Where are they from?
I don't know. What I like about that is that sometimes with like artillery pieces or bigger weapons like that, you look quite static. That looks like it's actually they're actually in the middle of firing it. Yeah,
that's brilliant. And the wood of the structure looks like real sticks. It's fantastic. Love it. Really good.
It's not Reconquer, is it?
Don't think so. Martin?
No, that is that. Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is because he also reused those figures because he's got a fantasy figure where all those ropes are attached to like a griffin that's taking off and they're trying to drag it down.
Oh, right.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a cracking little force, though. Really, really nice. Now on to Kevin, and he's been doing a Brazilian army for the War of the Triple Alliance.
Steve's next project.
Something that I've mentioned. I don't get involved. I just don't get involved. But let's have a look. Because this is something really... What I like about this is that you don't see this very often. You don't see too many people painting up mid-19th century Brazilian armies. It's not really been on many people's. But this is brilliant. So,
cool. Oh, love it. Love it.
Now, if you look closely, you can actually see Basil the Siberian hamster, apparently, which is his constant companion going into battle. So I reckon that might be a PCP first.
I can see him. He's in the pistol holster.
Yeah, little pistol holder. Yeah, Basil.
Brilliant.
I mean, most people normally take a dog into battle, but taking a hamster,
that is brilliant.
That'd be horrifying.
I love it.
Facing Basil.
It's just some really, really nice stuff.
Wow.
That is good. And here's a shot of the full. Another nod. There's the full thing. I mean, just look at that. It's just
very, very good.
What I like about it is uniform, but like sort of ragtag at the same time.
Yep.
That's brilliant, and that's all metal Perry stuff, I should imagine. Because I don't think anyone else makes metal miniatures for that particular.
I don't think they do.
But that's absolutely fantastic, and it didn't do my willpower any good. I was like, mustn't get involved. Up next is another Kevin. Now this, I've got. Yeah, there we go.
This just.
This is Kevin's samurai army, and the level of detail and the time that he must have sunk into completing these is phenomenal.
Yeah. Unbelievably great.
104 figures he did for this. 104
Jeez.
samurai.
I must
Kevin
admit,
also did a heap.
this is one of my favourite armies and projects over the year.
Yeah.
I thought it was fabulous.
I mean, the fact that he printed the castle as well to go with it. I mean, that is just I've got no words. But there we go. There's the full thing, and it just
brilliant.
Absolutely.
That's 4
brilliant.
foot of castle wall they did as well. So it's amazing. The terrain is incredible.
If you're in the Facebook group, go and search.
Photographing everything as well.
Yeah.
All the backdrop.
Yeah, he took that backdrop to another level, didn't he? That is just awesome.
Mad. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah. If you're in the Facebook group, do a search for Kevin Samurai and just see the close-up pictures as well, because again, the level of detail is absolutely just.
Well, if you have 0 willpower like me, don't.
Well, no. Yeah, but you Dom, you once famously said, I will never paint 28mm samurai.
You see?
And you did.
I've just proved the point. Exactly.
Less than 3 weeks later.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So up next is Stuart, and he painted he did samurai as well, but he also did some medieval. Let's start off with a samurai that Dom will never, ever paint.
Nope, never.
Again, really nice stuff. Really nice stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah, Stuart did a couple of projects. His main one was a medieval one, but do you remember he broke his hand? He broke his painting hand during the year.
That's right.
And he still managed to do 290 models for the year. That's not bad with a broken painting hand.
Jeez.
That's dedication to the hobby. If you're painting with a broken hand, you've definitely got dedication. Let's have a look at his medieval stuff. So there's
lovely.
Nice.
Cool.
Really, really nice. Again, that red and yellow works so well. And again, just really, really crisp and clean on the colours. Very, very nice. And let's have a look at the overall thing that he painted. Look at that! Brilliant!
Excellent stuff.
Absolutely fantastic. Is that for Baron's War as well, or is that just a?
I think that's for. Is it for Lion Rampant?
Oh, it could be, yeah. Actually, yeah, the way it's set.
It's quite. I mean, to be fair, it's Hail. So you could use that in Hail Season. That's a lot for Baron's War.
It's more than you'd need for Baron War.
I mean, you could play Baron's War quite easily with that. That's cool. There's a decent. You got 2 armies there, in fact.
You could also play Lion Rampant, couldn't you, Martin?
Yeah, you could absolutely play in Lion Rampant. I'm going to try incredibly. It's early in the new year. I'm not going to say anything.
Right, let's take a sweepstake, everybody. At what point in the year Martin starts bad-mouthing Lion Rampant?
All right. Well, it would take a sweepstake about you bad-mouthing STQR.
Yeah, but that's fine.
We could be each other's support group.
Apparently, the only things that I have a bad mouth are skeletons with separate feet.
That's true.
But everyone should, let's be honest. Up next is some bloke called Dom. I don't know who he is. And he
did I like this man?
And he was painting. So obviously, it's Mr. Projects down there. World War II and was it World War II, Korea, and Conflict 47 at the same time?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Well, Second World War and conflict. Yeah.
That's a lot of painting there, Dom. It's a lot of tanks.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it was influenced as well because Actung Panther came out in the middle of the year, early in the year. So I did a whole load of tanks for that, so then repurposed them across for this. So yeah, but like everyone says, it was just gave me an excuse to do something. I had no plans to do anything Second World War last year at all. I know I don't have plans for anything particularly, but they all fall apart anyway if I do. But I thought it just gave me a perfect excuse for this with the OPC. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to, I'm not going to do every week, every month, because there were things that I knew that I wouldn't get around to doing, like the train and stuff like that. I thought, I'm not going to do that particularly. But just to have, just doing bits and bobs and doing something that I probably otherwise wouldn't have done. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's good fun.
What I love about this photograph is that there's like normal World War II tanks and vehicles and stuff, and then you've just got that Walker and that Tesla gun there just sat in the middle of it. It's like, yeah, that's.
Well, the beauty of doing that sort of thing with conflict, isn't it? Is that you can do a Second World War and then just swap in a couple of weird things, and you've got a conflict. So yeah, there you go.
Also, a lot of model kits too for you, Dom, isn't it?
Well, actually, a lot of those were in a 3D prints. A lot of the tanks are 3D prints because you know how ham-fisted I am making models. So.
I see that the green you've used in that Walker. It's such a science fiction green. It's brilliant.
It's a bit greener than the others, isn't it? But I just liked the color, so I just did it.
I just think it goes well with that model. I just think it's got that grungy sci-fi look about it. It's really, really cool. Was that metal or resin or both?
It's both. It's resin and metal. Yeah. So it was a bit of a bugger to put together, but once it was together, I really enjoyed doing that. It was good fun. Because actually I put loads of mud and stuff up the legs and all this sort of stuff. It was just
it does look class.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed doing those. I did a couple of German ones as well, I haven't showed those off, but I will do at some point. One day I'll have a game of it, you never know.
Tell you what, Dom, that looks like a rather nifty 3rd edition bolt action army. That
there we go. It's on its way.
You can feel so many tanks and vehicles now. It's brilliant. And they've all had reduced points costs.
I still haven't had a game of that yet, but Jono and I keep saying we must have a game of it. So one day we will.
I'm doing a 15mm one in a couple of weeks, German versus British. Just to see how it works at 15mm. Although I've been tinkering with variable movement in bolt action. I've been doing some test pieces and some calculations, and I might start using it. Get my mate to agree to it. Might be a different thing altogether. But I digress. So up next is Joseph, who worked on a skeleton. Again, two armies from Joseph. Let's go with this first one. So let's go with Greeks. Look at that!
Oh, they are.
Yes. Wow, look at the bronze.
Look at the colours on those.
These are beautifully painted.
Oh, my word.
Wow. Are they foundry? Or I've
got no idea.
maybe they're Victrix, actually.
I'm just in awe at the bronze on those shields. It's just
lovely.
Phenomenal. Really.
And look how well the bases work as well.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. That's lovely.
But not content with producing awesomeness like that, he also did a skeleton army as well.
Gee whiz.
Oh, yes, no, I remember this one. The contrast in the colours this was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
This one had a bit more of the whole vampire feel to it, didn't it? The sort of traditional Castlevania kind of undead. What was it? Vampire Counts. That's it.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But he also produced this, which is just look.
I mean, where do you start with that?
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
Just phenomenal painting. It reminds me of something off Dark Souls, which is why it gives me chest pains. But that's brilliant. And just again,
imagine how good there's a look on the table. Like the vibrancy is just phenomenal.
What I like as well is the it's a winter themed army. But it's understated. It's not throwing snow straight in your face. It's just it's massive as well. It's really, really huge. Brilliant. Up next is Jonas, who I've got again. We'll start off with his commanders. Get some great base and some lovely painting as well. I think this was Jonas's first attempt at Napoleonics. I think so. He really took the lead on that to start Napoleonics. Here's some of his cavalry.
Oh yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Frenchy lancers.
But you don't really get a sense of how much work Jonas put into this until you see the thing overall.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's nice.
There's some big old battalions, those are. Jeez. How many figures in those?
Just
4, 8, 12, 16, 20.
Are they 36?
Wow. No,
No,
they're bigger
more
than
than
that.
that.
They're 48 mans, aren't they?
Yes.
48s, yeah. Wow.
I think Jonas might have nailed another first as well. That's a cart of a soil cart, I think it was described as.
Oh, right.
soil. Yeah. Okay. No, that's
Don't
just,
tell
again,
Steve you put a turnip in it. Jesus.
I put all kinds in it. You can't take turnip without some kind of midden cart.
Yeah.
So I mentioned them earlier, but Gaza did some Tyranids, and I know Dom, you know all about the Tyranids, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, yes.
This was awesome.
Absolutely brilliant. So this is High Fleet Tiamat.
Wow.
Wow. Just that it's that scheme that he's used throughout is it just ties the whole thing together just really, really well. And then we have this.
Right.
His
I don't know what
basing
I'm
was
looking at.
brilliant
It's
on this.
extraordinary.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just again the basing and that light blue sort of pale turquoise color just and it ties that theme all together. Duncan's up next. He's done 2 as well. So we did some Night Stalkers.
Oh, cool.
They are just really, really colourful.
Nice.
Yeah, Dom's struggling again. Dom's struggling.
Yeah, can I have a lie down?
I just again, is that for Kings of War or?
Yeah, they're a Kings of War. They're the ones who've got like the Scarecrow.
I've paid some of those for the Doom. I thought I recognised them, but it was the big bases. It was the big bases that I recognised. So his second army was a Northern Alliance. I think it was for Kings of War as well.
That's Kings of War. Yeah.
So is that a mixture of like elves and stuff?
It's a mixture of elves, humans, and it's a Northerner. Like basically just it's a big allied army, but with like they're all wearing furs and they all look really angry. They look awesome, and his army is awesome.
They're elves on the riding the big birds, the big eagles, and we've got some ice troll things. But yeah, cracking.
Very cool.
It's good to see as well that he's done 2 armies for the same game system as well.
Yeah.
For Kings of War. And up for the last entry is Carl. So he's built this using sort of old school Games Workshop Space Marines, but he's repurposed them because I think he said he played 40k and it just didn't gel with him. He didn't like it, so he's used the figures to do a Force for Xenos Rampant. So there's some classic, classic Space Marines. Absolutely love these. I like the way these are now referred to as Firstborn Marines. I don't know, it's just something strange about it.
They do look cool.
They
look lovely.
Oh, the green ones.
The green ones, yes. There's some scouts. Oh, now these are classic miniatures. These, wow,
lovely.
Again, brilliant. I love the military look he's gone for with these. They don't look overly sci-fi the way they're painted, but really, really good. And the completed thing is there. Look at that.
Hey.
Brilliant. There's so many memories.
I like the barbed wire. That's great. Love that.
What I like about what Carl's done here is the mix of different Space Marine bits and pieces throughout the ages. So we've got the new version Terminator and Land Raider, and that Land Speeder. I think that's quite an old model. Then we've got the Firstborn Marines and the bikers. Just a brilliant force. Well, there we go. That was the OPC for 2024, which leads us, chaps, OPC 2025. What's going on? What's the plan?
Took us a while to come up with an idea for 25. because our little group has lots of different priorities coming to this year. I was actually having a chat to the guys, including Dom, who inspired us to think about a point system. So we've moved away this year from a themed-based focus to a points-based focus. So the idea is paint miniatures, earn yourself some points, and work yourself towards your annual target.
That's
Right.
really good.
Because I've seen people pledging what they're going to sort of achieve, sort of in points. Is someone keeping track of this other than themselves?
It's a complete honour system, so people need to keep track of their own. But we'll follow along, track along, and see how people go. Yeah, the idea is have a think about what you want to achieve during the year, work out roughly what points that would equal, and then start painting and add up your points. It actually the way it works is that each model attracts a base points based on its size, based on the scale. So, and then it could also qualify for bonus points based on a little list that we provided as well. So we were trying to accommodate people who can paint enormous numbers of figures versus people who take forever to paint one. So we're trying to accommodate that range of gamers. I mean, that was one of the things about 24 OPC was that an army was incredibly challenging for some people, but very easy for others. When you can do an army before breakfast, it's hardly a challenge, right? But for me, it's a massive challenge. The points gives people a lot of flexibility and allows them to paint whatever they like. But we will, from time to time, have themes, and themes will be a way that people can earn some bonus points along the way.
Yes, it is, David.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine Martin's loving the point system.
Oh yes. I will not be putting the binary system. No, binary.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible that this challenge might actually work best for people who have a joint interest in both armies and spreadsheets. We are aware that may be a smaller intersection.
It's going to be interesting again to see what people come up with. It might inspire me to finish that Mantic Giant. I've only been painting it for 2 years, so it's a big hefty bit of plastic. So plenty of points in there. But I think it's interesting again, following the success of last year, because I think OPC 24 was, as we just seen from what people produced, it was brilliant. Just a raging success. So it's going to be really interesting to see what people come up with this year and the creativity used to get those points as well. So,
you mentioned sort of rules at the start that you've got to set your target for the year, but that's only a vague sort of thing. If you don't want to set a target, you don't have to. If you want to just go through it and get into what you want to do and what you don't want to do, the rules are just there as a general guide rather than rules that have to be stuck to. We deliberately sort of set it that way, and as Warren's already said, it's very much done as an honour system. So you just, if you want to just get into a bit of it and do it for part of the year, or just put it on the post that you do. I mean, because that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing, I've been painting one figure now for 5 weeks. I'm not going to win many points for it. I'll still put up, this figure, and then I'll put me 20 points for it, and it's taken me 5 weeks. I'm not going to sort of win. But it's not about winning. It's about setting a little target for yourself and having sort of a fun system where it's a good community effort where we all join in and sort of share what we're up to. I suppose you could just say, well, I'm just want to paint my figures anyway. Why I'm going to put a point system to it? It's just that bit of fun, bit of an element, and then keeps the OPC sort of fresh for another year.
Yeah,
love it.
Out of curiosity, do we know how many models were painted for the OPC in 2024? If we added up everyone's,
blimey!
Did we work that out? I was just curious to know, because looking at all those armies, I'd just like to know how many figures were painted collectively
there's going to be a few there, isn't there? I can imagine there's going to be quite a few miniatures painted.
Not
was
everybody
another-
told us how many miniatures they'd painted, but if you go back to their OPC 33 post, you'll see those people who did tell us. But yeah, would be interesting. Maybe we should do that with the points. We should work out what is the collective points that we all earned over a year's painting. That'd be fun.
I like that idea.
We should be able to do that. We should be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do for this year as well because a lot of people entered units and things into the OPC, but then didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, Warren. Didn't then put them into their big army. So I think even if you just collected the number of figures that people presented as their army, then the total number would actually be a lot bigger.
Yeah, that was great. We had quite a few people who just sort of dipped in and out of OPC, and they do a unit here or a unit there.
Yeah,
and some of them weren't doing a full army; they were just doing whatever kind of they needed to do, I guess, or had on their painting list. So that was good. And by the way, there were a few also who shared their armies at the end there under OPC 33 that weren't painted during the OPC. They were just painted during the year though. So you'll find them under the OPC 33 hashtag as well as some very cool other armies that were painted as well.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, it was just a good way of focusing people. I know I mentioned earlier, if you've got that sort of goal in mind, you want to finish a character or a unit by the end of the month. Again, that's just that motivation. That Mantic Giant is a different motivation on by itself, though, because
I have to say, are you guys going to do this? I'm certainly going to keep a running total. I'm not sure I want to commit to the number at the moment up front. I've got a number in my head, but
I think I'll give it a go. I don't exactly. I don't want to commit in case I have another horrible burn like I did last year. But I can imagine because I've got loads of ideas for stuff that I want to get through this year. So yeah, I'll be dipping my paintbrush into it.
Yeah, I will be as well. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
we set up a message group as well on the Facebook page. So if anybody's got any questions, just whack it in that little chat, and we'll try and get back to people as quick as we can.
Excellent. I think you're getting too carried away, Andy. I'm just saying.
I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, if you're not a member of the Facebook group and you want to see what people are doing for the new OPC, head along to the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook group. Answer Dom's questions, which people have been doing recently. I've been quite surprised. People have been
and we haven't had any
answering
really dodgy
questions.
ones for a long time, which is a challenge.
They're always entertaining, though.
There are some very entertaining responses. It's true.
For one reason or another, the general consensus is if someone's got 15,000 friends on Facebook, they're not getting in because that way lies shenanigans for some reason. Right, we're going to look at some other pictures now. So this is from what people have been posting up in the Facebook group over the past week. Again, big thank you to everyone that's continually posting up the projects they're working on. We'd love the diverse mix of what people are doing. It's
great.
It's something I look at over my morning coffee. And like Dom, I then say, well, I'm not getting involved in that. And then I'm on literally in 10 minutes, I'm checking things out on the internet. So I'm going to be a bit more careful moving forward. So again, big apology. We can't feature everybody. So I've just grabbed a random mix of bits and pieces from the Facebook group over the past week. Starting off with a bit of muskets and tomahawks from Barry with some Rogers Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
I need to play that more. I don't think I played that at all in 2024.
We were saying this down the club the other night as well. Yeah, we haven't played it for ages. Must do it. It's such a good game.
Yeah,
I just really like those. I love the green that he's used on them. It's just it pops so much. Lovely stuff. Up next is Dan. Now, I've known Dan through YouTube for a good few years. Dan's the guy that did that Bretonian army, and he made this castle out of something he picked up. I think it was like at a charity shop, and he built a Bretonian castle out of just a kid's toy. And he's been working on more scenery, but this time for Stalingrad for World War II. Just look at that!
Oh wow!
That's great.
That is brilliant. Again, if you're in the Facebook group, just look up the full post. He posted quite a lot of photographs of his Stalingrad setup, and that is fun. The level of detail on some of those bits and pieces is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'd be more than happy to play a game of Bolt Action or what have you over that. Lovely. Up next is Dan with his Warmaster Dwarfs. Now, I think these are 10 mil.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
They're little fellas, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, little.
Having painted a lot of 10mm recently, I've got a newfound respect for people that can paint them to that level of quality, because they are brilliant. I mean, the fact that he's put shield designs on them as well.
Wow.
Just, yeah, really, really good. So from Warmaster Dwarfs to Napoleonic French Dragoons, these are
seamless, mate. Seamless.
I've got no words for these. Just.
Oh wow,
Christopher's work.
That's Christopher. Just.
My body.
Again, no words. They are just top draw painting. There's nothing more that can be said.
Chris is an outstanding painter.
Yeah, I mean, there's just those. With Napoleonics, I'm always amazed that people can paint a lot but maintain that quality across, because they are just, each of them is just individually brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Up next, bit of Midgard. We wouldn't be a PCP without a mention of Midgard. So James, the writer of Midgard, was battling it out last week, and here's a snapshot.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Very cool. There's certainly a lot of sort of battle report pictures going up from games. I have seen quite a lot. We have the games in, actually.
I just like the look at this. There's just spears and shields everywhere. It just looks like absolute total carnage.
It's basically just a big melee, isn't it? It's just a big rugby scrum.
A big scrap in a car park. So Matthew said this is maybe the best thing he's ever painted, and it's brilliant. I mean,
oh wow, oh nice.
Absolutely. I think it's Breton. Is it Bretonian or elves? Is it?
That's Bretonian. I
thought it was Bretonian. Some kind of griffin. But what I like about that is just look at the pattern on that thing with the white, blue, and black. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, really it's the best thing he's ever painted, and it's hazardous agree. It's brilliant, mate. Absolutely fantastic. Jeez. Dom, do you know what? Have you got any idea what that is, Dom? Is it just all?
I mean, just no. But I'm just still in awe of the paint. I mean, just the feathers.
Yeah.
Having done a little bit of Badgers and Burrows and trying to get the paints on wings and things.
Yeah.
That is hard to do it and make it look right. Very good.
Brilliant. Up next is Paul with some Batavians. Yay, look at those.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I really do like them. This is so.
Why don't I get the guy feeling that the guy with the banner is going to, in any minute now, is just going to turn around and show his arse off? He just has that look, doesn't he? He's like, "Yay, come on, boys!"
I can't imagine that was good for your general health and safety back then. Up next is Edward. These are brilliant. Some Dwarf Kings from Edward. Look at those. They're for the old world, I believe. But Martin, is that a new release? See the dwarf being carried on the shield. Is that an old?
It is an old model, but I don't know if they've re-released it. So I don't know if he's got the old model and painted it. I haven't really kept up with what's been released. But the thing is, because GW obviously re-released stuff, but there's so much out there anyway that people are picking up as well from the old world. So I don't know if it was re-released. It is a cracking model.
Cracking, absolutely.
I think it's quite a new model, because I think Angelo Gicello placed at Golden Dean this year with it.
Ah, right. I know there was one back in the. Am I thinking of the guy who was on a big chair with the Book of Grudges? Who was that? There was a very similar model back in the day. But yeah, brilliant work. The next one is from Silas. I absolutely love this.
Yay.
What's your name, son? So we've got Robocop and Ed 209. Brilliant. I just think that Ed 209, it's just such an iconic piece of 80s awesomeness. Brilliant. Philip has been dabbling in some Frostgrave.
Nice.
Brilliantly painted shields.
Yeah, he's obviously done his own there. That's great.
They are really, really good.
Nice.
Oh, shoot. A bit more Midgard. However, this picture should come with a public health warning. Because we know that Steve from Basement.
Madman.
Yes, he likes to paint. He likes to paint quite a lot, and his games tend to be, well, bigger than my flat. So he's got involved in playing Midgard, and here's a snapshot from his last game. Yeah,
yeah.
He doesn't understand the concept of skirmish, does he? Your small scale game. Yeah, I love his latest video. He said, "I'm just thinking of extending my table to 30 feet long." Like, it's just insane.
Get planning permission for a table.
Yeah.
When you realise that they're 28mm figures?
Yeah.
And there's just rank after rank after just. Oh.
Do you know, is there anybody who is more infectious about the hobby than watching his videos? He's so excited about what he gets involved in.
No, he
I
doesn't.
just love it.
Again, like you said, he doesn't understand the concept of skirmish. I think a skirmish game needs about 400 figures, but seeing his videos and when he's got the table set up with all, I mean, his Napoleonic ones, my word, madness, absolute madness. And last but not
insulting for him when everyone says I paint like fury. You see what he does, jeez.
Yeah, but he batch painting like 40 to 60 miniatures. I mean, his ACW ones. No, there's no wonder he can run games on a 75-foot long table. Last but not least is Tony. He's been working on some Wars of the Roses, and here is Oxford and Exeter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so nice. Proper general.
Very nice.
Done.
Which one?
Guess.
The one who was never a general.
Yeah, don't care. He's in my army, mate.
He's going to be in mine. I need to do some Lancashires this year, and I wouldn't be an army if I didn't have Exeter. So I'm going to have to chuck him in. No, they are lovely. I've been chatting to him a little bit as well about. He wants to do every lord that's in the Kingmaker board game.
That's a good
he's then got it. I guess so you can use it as a campaign completely as well. But there are some really obscure ones in there. Really, really obscure ones, but that's really cool. I do like that. That's really nice.
Dom, have you just uploaded a few more OPC pictures?
Those were the ones that Warren was just talking about. They're the ones that people just put in random armies.
Oh, right, okay. We'll run through those quickly, though. Let's have a look, shall we? So we've got Roger with his Zulu army. Oh, that's impressive.
Oh, nice.
That is really, really nice. I really must get back to my Zulus, but that looks great. And he's got that brilliant Empress miniature set there, Martin. With the messenger and the chief.
Yep.
No,
I've got him.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Up next is Steve with his Bavarians. Oh,
that's a lot of Bavarians.
That's just madness. That's madness. Awesome madness, but madness.
It just imagine seeing that marching towards you. It's just there's so many.
Love it.
Brilliant.
That's great.
Ben painted several bolt action armies.
Jesus.
Just a few.
Just a few.
See,
wow.
I mean, another person like me. Well done. Just well done. Keeping it up. Brilliant.
That's. I mean, how many tanks has he painted there? That is just.
That's a lot there.
That's a lot of tanks. A lot of infantry as well. Up next is Andy from the Hobby Support Group with his 6mm Bacchus Napoleonics.
Yeah.
Nice.
They look great on mass like that, don't they?
Yeah. They really do. And I know Andy games a lot at 6mm. So he
does, yeah.
Yeah. But that's brilliant. That is really, really good. And up next is Andy with some ancients.
Just some ancients.
Just some ancients. just throwing it out there. Just some ancients. Again, it's just great to see the amount of stuff that people have got through over the past 12 months.
Yeah.
But that's those.
Lovely.
So we are officially in overtime. It's 10:05. So let's throw up the schedule for the rest of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So today was the OPC Showcase. We're Warren and Paul. Next week, we're over on Martin's channel.
We are.
The subject is, what are the quintessential 28mm historical kits by period or army?
Yeah, so essentially I thought we could argue for 2 hours. No, so I was just going to... I was just going to post up, for example, like French Napoleonics. You've got the Perrys, you've got Warlord, you've got Victrix. But which one of those kits is... Which is the quintessential? Is it the Warlord one because it's easiest to paint? Is it the Perry one because you've got the diversity between the sculpt? And I was just going to pick a few periods. Now that there is now you've got War Games Atlantic, you've got Victrix, you've got Gripping Beast, you've got Warlord, you've got Perry, all of which produce these kits. I thought it'd just be, we could chew the fat over a few periods and decide whose kit was the quintessential one if you were going to do that army or that period.
Cool.
Well, I think it's a great idea. It should be some interesting debate. Let's put it that way.
Unless we all agree, and then it'll just be really short. I'd
just like to say that Ken might well be back next week, so we probably will then row the whole way through it. But there you go.
He loves his controversy, so I'm expecting some controversy next week. Then the following week, we're over on Dom's channel. So can historical refights be fun to play as war games?
Oh yeah.
So, keep your comments for 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, keep them back for that. So yeah, we'll talk about that one later.
And then we finish up the ones back on my channel with game length, enjoyable versus boring.
Which I love it how Dom's topic just feeds into Steve's for the following week.
So game length versus enjoyable. This was inspired by. I've had a couple of games recently of Space Weirdos, and they've been done in sort of 45 minutes. And it just got me thinking: would that put people off? If you're prepared for a good old session of wargaming, and we're done in 45 minutes, would that be too short for you? And would it put you would it put you off playing Space Weirdos again? It shouldn't, because it's a very brilliant game. Again, big thank you for everybody that's watching on the catch up. We always do appreciate that. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff. And don't forget, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords Hobbies. Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out to get 5% off your order on your already discounted order. And contact Ian if you've got any problems with what you need to find. So, Paul and Warren, massive thank you for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you both.
That's been fun.
And again, Warren, I don't know how long you've been up for, but coffee may be required for the
another one.
Another one might be required for the following day. Again, Paul, big thanks.
Thank you very much.
Across. It's been
thanks for organising the OPC and managing it. It's fantastic. It's been great.
It's been great. I don't think we struggle to organise. We was like with us sometimes it's like trying to round up cats. So it's been great that you guys have taken the lead on that. And I know that people are really excited and interested to see what the next OPC is. And like myself, like others, I always enjoy seeing what people have been posting updates on the Facebook group. So it's been great discussing it with you. So we'll be back next week on Martin's channel, Seven Sun, to just discuss the quintessential 28mm gaming kits.
I'll post up in the group the ones we're going to discuss.
Prepare thyself for some some interesting commentary and debate. But again, we're off. Big thanks to everyone that's joining tonight. Enjoy the rest of your hobby week, and we will see you next week. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.